Okay, welcome back, cloners. This was the last game I played with Bruna, Light of Allah, before I dismantled her to rebuild my favorite Azorius general of all time, Brago. Having played her a little bit, I actually do not like Bruna that much, mostly because she generates so much hate. You'll see that this game. I don't think I've ever actually killed anyone with Bruna, just because she's one of those commanders everyone goes after. Other than Bruna, we have Rob playing his combo Prime Speaker Zegana deck. This deck is particularly deadly just because Rob can win out of nowhere with it. Rob's played this deck many times on the channel. A new deck to the channel, well, this version anyway, is Josiah playing his Zedruu the Greathearted deck. But I guess Zedruu decks are pretty similar in essence. Finally, we have a mostly new commanders to the channel with Ikra Shadiqi the Usurper and Ravos Soultender paired. These combined, they make a pretty good commander. Although Ikra Shadiqi is a decent commander in his own right, Ravos is just gravy. You'll see his grave shenanigans a few times this game.
Alright, let's do it!
Brian goes first this game, losing a life from a sack land. Josiah goes next, who is also starting on 6 cards this game. Serum Visions from me. Rob gains a life from Thornwood Falls. Artifact Ramp for me on my turn too. Rob Green Sun Zeniths for 1, then realizes he doesn't have any 1-drop green creatures in his deck. Wah wah. Lands from Brian and Josiah. And Thought Vessel for me on my turn 3. I love this card. Shaman of Forgotten Ways from Rob on his turn. Brian just plays a land. Slow game from Brian this time. Josiah has no other play but to drop his commander on his turn 4. On my turn 4, I cast Recurring Insight and target the guy who hasn't cast any spells this game, meaning I draw 7, and then pass the turn with Thought Vessel in play. Again, love that card. Rob then casts Somberwald Sage, and then misses a land drop, but plenty of creature ramp. Ikra Shadiqi from Brian, and then nothing from Josiah on his turn. I draw for my turn, and then draw 7 cards when I rebound the Insight. Not bad. With everyone else having creatures on the field, I decided to slow things down a bit with a Supreme Verdict. That, and keep Rob off 9 mana for creatures on his next turn. I then gain a life with Tranquil Cove. Rob Farseeks with Farseek. Brian casts Sun Titan, getting back his land. Brian casts that Sun Titan so many times this game. You know what? Let's do a count for it. Brian takes a life, as well as Josiah, who also recasts his commander, Zedruu the Gonna Die Again Soon Hearted. On my turn for insurance, I play Reliquary Tower. I then cast Consecrated Sphinx, because I need some more card draw or something. So it's around this point I live out one of the sad truths about this deck. It does not have any permissions, so while I have about 20 cards in hand, none of them actually do anything to get my commander to kill people. This deck only wins with Bruna attacking people. On Rob's turn, he casts Urban Evolution, and I draw 8 cards from his turn alone. Brian casts Duplicate to exile my Sphinx, and then attacks me with Sun Titan, once again getting his land back, which he again loses a life. Josiah casts Steel Golem, and then donates it to me with his Zedruu ability. I cast Swiftfoot Boots, in the hopes of killing someone next turn with Bruna. That does not happen. Rob recasts his Green Sun Zenith for Progenitor Mimic to get a Sun Titan of his own, which then returns Secure Tribe Elder to play, clone count 1. Not wanting to attack into my Steel Golem, liking the fact that I can't cast creatures, Brian sends both of his guys at Rob, who blocks and sacks with his Tribe Elder and finds a land. Rob takes 4 damage. Show the Evening Star from Brian, what he calls Wrath Insurance. Josiah draws an extra card and gains 1 life from the Zedruu effect, and then discards at his end step, but first I cast an instant speed Wrath, Fated Retribution. We all lose 15 life, and Brian gains 15 life from his dragon dying. With Josiah having 6 mana up, I decided it's better not to cast Bruna this turn, and cast Mini Bruna instead, or a Touched Mage, to search up Eldrazi Conscription, and attach it to the mage, and then suit it up with the boots. I then send it at Brian, who has the most life and the most lands. Brian sacks 2 lands to the Annihilator and takes 13 damage. On Rob's turn, he starts by casting Master Biomancer, and then Acidic Slime with 2/1 counters, and uses it to blow up my Swiftfoot boots, meaning I won't be attacking with Bruna next turn either. Brian casts Fleshbag Marauder for the sole purpose of killing my makeshift Eldrazi. He then casts Ravos Soultender, his other commander, whom you actually see more of this game than his other. At the end step, Josiah casts Sphinx's Revelation for 3, drawing 3 and gaining 3. Then on his turn, Josiah casts Soul Ring and Djinn of Infinite Deceits, and a lesser known equipment, Nurok Stealth Suit. Instant Speed Shroud, not bad. Then we make our way back to my turn. So everyone else is tapped out except 1 land on Brian's side, but without haste, there's nothing I can do this turn. I cast Gilded Lotus into Sun Titan, returning the boots to play. Equip it to the Titan, and then attack Brian for 6 and get back an island with the Titan's second trigger. I also cast Hall the Bandit Lord, just for some backup haste. Rob just passes the turn, leaving a lot of mana up. During Brian's turn, he uses Ravos' ability to return Sun Titan back to hand. He then casts Sun Titan, and gets back Fleshbag Marauder, getting rid of everyone else's single creature. Josiah is starting to lament the fact that he can't keep a creature on the table. On his turn, Josiah casts Gilded Drake to steal Brian's Ravos, and then casts Elspeth Sun's Champion, making soldiers, so he does an auto-lose to Sun Titan Fleshbag combo next turn. On my turn, Bruna finally comes out. I pay 3 life to give it haste, and then go to attack Brian, putting a bunch of enchantments on it from my hand and graveyard, including Steel of the Godhead, and Sage's Reverie, which draws me an extra 6 cards when it enters. I attack Brian since he has the Fleshbag combo going. It would have been lethal if it wasn't for Rob, who saves him with an overloaded Cyclonic Rift, sending everything back to our hands. I cast Cloudblazer to gain 2 life and draw 2 cards. Rob casts Woodland Bellower to get Eternal Witness, who returns Cyclonic Rift. This is another pattern that develops over the course of the game. I think Rob Cyclonic Rifts Bruna, well, every single time, but also like 5 times total this game. Brian recasts Sun Titan, getting back a land. He then casts Sidisi, Undead Vizier, sacking an elf, and Demonic Tutoring. He did all this full well knowing that Rob is going to recast Cyclonic Rift. Josiah deliberates on his turn, as he has nothing that can stand up to Rob's Cyclonic Rift. He doesn't even bother casting anything to commit to the board. Instead, he casts Elspeth and then uses it to pop everyone's creatures so they won't get value from the ET being after their Cyclonic Rift. On my turn, I cast Righteous Authority on my Cloudblazer, who then goes to attack Rob. Rob initially says he'll take the damage, but then when I actually count the cards in my hand, I have 34, and since Rob is at 36, that means the Cloudblazer is attacking for Xaxes. Rob then used the Rift to bounce the enchantment back to hand. Rob takes 2 damage. I then spend the rest of the turn just recasting my artifacts. Rob gets Eternal Witness, his big brother, Green Warden of Maressa. And the cycle begins again. Or should I say, the cyclo begins again. And if that wasn't bad enough, Brian casts Necrotic Sliver, guaranteeing that I won't have haste for the rest of the game with Sun Titan Ravos combo. He gets it back on numerous occasions. Long game condensed. Guess who ends up winning this game? You guessed it, Rob. After everyone spends their resources keeping me at bay, about an hour later into this game, Rob wins out of nowhere with Peregrine Drake Deadeye Navigator combo. Along with his commander, he can draw his entire library, and with infinite mana, Blue Sun Zenith everyone to death, and then just keep redrawing the Blue Sun Zenith. Winning another match for his deck. Rob usually wins with that deck, as he lays low for most of the game, and then no one sees him as a threat until he combos off all at once and wins. I played against that deck way too many times not to expect that, but Bruna was very easily mitigated that game. This is why the deck probably needs either a small amount of permission or at least something like Silence or Abeyance to assure a path to victory. We did not get to see a lot of Zedruu, as Commander Zedruu kept dying, as well as all of his other creatures. Ikra Shadiqi and Ravos deck was always relevant in that game, but more as a reactionary deck, never really setting the pace of the game. Brian cast Sun Titan 2 more times that game, by the way. And Rob cast Cyclonic Rift 3 more times. All of which were in response to Bruna. Okay, that's it for now. Hope you guys got your commander fix for the week. Below in the video description are the deck lists for these commanders we played this game, as well as a new feature we're trying out. Check us out on Reddit to read the transcript of this week's gameplay. Let us know if you like this and we'll keep it up. Well, that's it for now. And stick around at the end of the video for links to other games of Commander we played. Stay cool, stay clone, gents.